This is a short tutorial looking at the two types of date-triggered communications that can be sent through Majestic. The first one is birthday reminders, which look specifically at the ID number field within Majestic, the 6 first digits of the ID number field, and this communication will then be sent on that specific day. Now, when you create a communication, you would then select it as a birthday behavior, and you can then select, if you have this option enabled in your profile, the user journeys enabled, if the communication should go directly to the client, or if the communication should go to the linked salesperson, reminding them to follow up with the client. If I go back, in this case, this birthday reminder is set to send off an SMS to the client directly. If we had an email as a subsequent communication also in the sequence, then one could always just BCC the user in that email so that they will know that the system has sent an email on their behalf to this client, and that they should also just follow up with the client. The configuration of the ID number field is a specific or has a trick or two to it. If I click, let's say in the form that I'm working with, and I select ID number, and I just add the ID number, on the rules on the ID field, I can specify a number of things. First of all, the ID number field as it is there just allows for normal text entries to go, numeric text entries. It doesn't actually check for anything. However, I can build in a rule on that ID number field, and that rule would then have to do with validation. Say validate form. I can say that it has to specifically check that this is a South African ID number, and I must then just make sure that that rule is active. Or I can say only check that the first 6 digits are in the year, month or date format. Now, if I have an import and I've got the client's ID number already in the system, or I have a process where I feel comfortable enough to get their full ID number, I would actually just force their ID number and validate on that. However, if it's just a question to ask them when their birthday is, I would change the format and just ask the system to check for those first 6 digits to validate the format of the ID number. And that rule will then display against the ID number field in the forms. The other type of date-triggered communication would look at a normal standard journey. So it's just a standard journey that's set up, either a user communication going directly to the linked salesperson, or client service manager, and or can go directly to the client. In this case, it would go to the user, but we now need to, I've got that journey set up, the communication set up, but I now need to go and specify which com date. So I click com dates, and I click on add, and then here I would describe it, and I would specify which journey to start. Now, that's the only standard journey that's available at this moment. I can say whether it needs to start every year or not. In this case, no, because it might not be relevant, but in some cases it might be a Happy New Year wish that you want to automate, or there could be other instances that you want to send it automatically every year. You could then specify the timing rule. In this case, let's say it's 1 month before the actual warranty expires that you'd like to notify the salesperson, and you would then specify what date. Now, the warranty expiry date is a date that's been set up in the system that one can now reference and click on add, which means that this com date has now been set up, and that this specific communication, the warranty reminder, will start X amount of time, 1 month before that particular date. You can also set it after that trigger. I hope this helps.